Hello everyone, it is Monday, July 21st, 2025. It's about 7 o'clock at night as I'm recording this. Wanted to do a video on how I track my income and high yield funds. Quickly just show a couple of tools I use and a spreadsheet that I built, and then go over again how I'm doing profit and loss wise on some of my holdings, and then also how I'm doing from a total return standpoint on my high yield funds that I track on a monthly and annual basis. So I'll jump right into this. Starting with this screen here, this is a site called Track Your Dividends that I use. I don't pay for the premium subscription. I use the free, use just the free subscription. So it allows me to attach any accounts or upload any accounts that I want, but I don't pay to have them automatically imported. I actually prefer doing it myself. So I went through this in the previous video, but right now my current portfolio yield overall is 30.28%. I said that I shoot for 20 to 30. I'm obviously on that high end, on the highest end. I am starting out more aggressively to start, and then I'm going to scale back on the high yield stuff as time goes on over the next 3 to 5 years and beyond. Right now, showing trailing 12 months, my monthly average income is $2,305 a month, or annually $27,655. This is on an annual basis, and this is also only for dividends. This does not account for the options that I sell. So $2,300 roughly plus the options that I sell is roughly what I'm bringing in from this account per month. The beta, I don't think it's terribly accurate, so I don't pay too much attention to that. Quickly running through these, I'm going to do this by profit and loss. So the only holding that I am red on right now is MSTY MISTY, just from a straight profit and loss standpoint. I am actually not down on it, as I'll get into here in a second, but I have 545 shares, down 2,681.40 from a capital gain / loss perspective. But you'll notice 122.21% yield, and then yield on cost is lower, but this is where the bulk of my income is coming from right now from a dividend standpoint. GPIX, 17 shares, dividend yield of 8.22%, pretty much even on it. Google, 1 share, does pay a small dividend, have not received one yet, but I'm up about $10 on it, or 0.5%. SGOV, this is the holding that I use for when I sell cash secured puts. So it pays a 4.5% just for the money to sit there, kind of like a high yield savings account, while I use that money to make money selling puts. YMAX, I have 100 shares, up about $30, and the dividend yield is at a little over 64%. JEPI, 80, up about $51. And it pays out 8.35% per month. These are all monthly, by the way. Misty is monthly, GPIX, Google is quarterly, YMAX is monthly, JEPI is monthly. ULTY 566 actually pays weekly, which is pretty cool. Get a consistent paycheck from them every Friday, which is great. The yield on it is 78.64%. I'm up about $56 on it. QQQ, obviously, and SPY both pay quarterly as well, 2 shares of each. I'm up $65 on QQQ and $81 on 2 shares of SPY. They pay a small dividend. This is more of a growth holding, 0.42 and 1.12%. SPYI, 100 shares, up about $191. It pays about 12% monthly. XDTE, 467 shares. I'm up $340 on it, and it pays about 30% yield per month right now. And then BITX, which is actually something I was selling cash secured puts on. It got assigned, so I've been sitting on the shares for a while. These will eventually get called away, but I'm comfortable holding it for now because it does pay a pretty decent yield, actually a very high yield, relatively speaking, but not to what I hold in here. So almost 10%, and I'm actually up $464 on this. So just wanted to quickly run through that real quick, and the source that I use, it shows that I currently have about $91,317 in here. This does not factor in the margin that I have out, which is just a little less than $6,000. But as far as holdings are concerned, that's the amount of money that I have in there at the moment. Jumping over to the spreadsheet that I put together for tracking these high yield funds. I track them monthly, as you'll see. So this is for 2025. This is a separate account, my traditional IRA, so don't really pay any attention to that for now. But the options account, which is what I'm using for this velocity portfolio, you can see how they've increased month over month. June, like I said, is when I started this whole velocity portfolio idea. So you can see the jump here quite substantially. SPYI started a little bit earlier. GPIX I just bought more of, so the August payment will be more. XDTE, you can see the jumps. Misty, I actually technically started Misty back in February. I was using it at the time just to pay student loans, and then just kind of rolled it in and started buying a few more. The payouts differ, or they vary sporadically. I've gotten up to like $2.37 down to like $1.27 or something like that. So I don't bank on a consistent number from that too often. And then YMAX is starting to go up a little bit. And then Ulti I went pretty large on starting in July as well. So you can see $3 to $141 so far. And I have, I think, one more payout coming. So the total for the month of July so far from these high yield funds is $1,195 compared to $1,293 last month. So I'm going to beat that this month. Might not get to May's number, and that's because Misty paid out quite a bit less this month, but that's okay. So going into the holdings and how I'm doing with them. So Misty, my cost base is $26.63. It's at $21.71 right now. It's 29% of these funds, of this the allocation of these funds. The original investment was $14,513. Capital gains, like I mentioned, I'm down $2,681, but I've received just shy of $5,000 in distributions, and this is since January. So total payback, just from the distributions I've received 34% of my money back already. So total return standpoint, so this would be the distributions minus capital gains, I'm up $2,310 or almost 16%. Ulti, just bought into recently, but even then you can see I'm up. Total return 5.73%, total payback 4.13%. So doing pretty well on that. My cost base is at 623, which is a little higher than I would like, but it has been rising, which is great. I don't know if it'll stick around that. We shall see. YMAX 7.44% total payback here. Total return just shy of 10%. So doing well on that one. XDTE distributions I've brought in just over $1,000 now. Total payback is 5% of my current investment. Total return $1,365, up 6.72%. SPYI, I'm up on capital gains on all these as well. Distributions $118.51, total payback 2.4%, and I'm up 6.29 total return. GPIX, I just bought a bunch more of this, so it's going to be a bit skewed. Just slightly paid back 0.8%, and just kind of sitting almost break even, up about 0.5%. And lastly, JEPI, distribution $73, total payback 1.64, total return 2.77. Obviously, Misty, Ulti, YMAX, these are going to pay me back much quicker than SPYI, GPIX, and JEPI. XTTE is paying about 30%, so I'll get paid back kind of in the middle of these three and these three, but not quite as quick as the YMAX funds. There is NAV erosion, net asset value erosion calculated into this, but the market's been doing so well lately that that's kind of subsided for now. I know if the market drops, then these will drop as well. I'm totally ready for that mentally. And if when that happens, I may buy more. For now, I'm just going to continue to scale into these. And the total payback numbers, like what I'm really most excited for. There's a good chance that I'll be fully paid back by Misty. Probably not by the end of this year, but probably in the next like 7-8 months, which is pretty exciting. And being up this much on it is great as well. And then I may be able to drop my cost basis a bit more if I keep scaling into it. So I wanted to quickly go over those and show what my total return looks like on these funds. I'll dive in a little bit deeper on how I manage the income on the next video. For now, I'll leave it at that. Catch you on the next one.